Aquarius, this is your August 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this reading might resonate for you. It's Romy. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, taking the time to tune in. We're going to open up this month for you with the energy of the Seven of Swords. I think there is some unfinished business this month, and what you may find is that somebody is preparing to approach you somewhat indirectly. It may even come as a bit of a surprise. Of course, this month we have all of these retrograde energies, including Mercury shifting into a backspin later this month. And so, you know, the people that will be coming back around to really help you realize how much you've changed and how far you've come is going to be really significant. Now, the Seven of Swords also talks to me about the plans that you are making behind the scenes. And I think there's something about the beginning of August. We have a full moon in your sign, Aquarius, coming in on the 1st. This is a powerful month because we're bookended by two powerful supermoons. So the Pisces full moon is going to close out on the 30th, and it creates this kind of void-like energy. But for you, as you think back to earlier this year, around the 21st of January, when that new moon in your sign arrived and you were setting intentions and you were feeling the spark and the shift in your energy towards certain pathways, something is culminating for you now. Something is coming to fruition, and there's a powerful realization that arrives alongside it. And one of the things that August is going to be really intent on doing for you is really helping you to release and to let go of the stories that you have repeatedly told yourself that for whatever reason, it's not possible for you. It can happen for other people, but not for you. So whatever area of your life that is showing up, whether it's in love or in your prosperity, your health, this is the thing that the Seven is also highlighting. Time for us to stop the self-sabotage. And sometimes, you know, we can end up becoming kind of rooted into a pathway where, you know, we've gone through unpleasant experiences. Perhaps we've been hurt. You know, we've been on the receiving end of something. And, you know, through our ego, through our pride, through our stubbornness, and just our desire to want to protect our heart, we can take a step back and we can end up inadvertently restricting ourselves from the very thing that we want, whether that be community, support, love, respect, recognition. And so there is a friction that's arriving through the course of this month, but that's okay, because sometimes that inner conflict kind of helps to narrow your focus a little bit and really help to refine and fine-tune your focus and your desire and your belief. So sometimes we need the contrast to kind of say, well, I'll prove it to you, or I'll show them, or I'm going to do this. And I have that kind of energy circulating through the month of August around you, Aquarius. Now, you have so many plans and it feels like you have so little time. And at the moment, you may even be encountering obstacles and situations that feel as though the universe is telling you, no, this is not for you, this is not the way, but it's not the case. And I think there's something about what you need to resolve, let go, forgive, surrender to, that immediately once it happens, there's just a complete swift movement through and kind of almost like coming out of the other side of something. Okay, so let this void hold you through the month of August. Remember, it will feel like there's almost a bit of a veil, and that can create some confusion and some illusion around what is real and what is kind of really going on. The thing is, it's another month, and we talked about this a little bit in July, where we kind of have to suspend judgment, you know, because you're not seeing all of the picture. So what your focus is meant to be through this month of August in Leo season is really around reimagining that bigger vision for yourself, not getting so caught up in the strategy of how is it going to happen, how am I going to get there, how is this ever going to work, because we can kind of almost undo and unpick and sort of stop before we even get started by overthinking in that capacity. But Leo is wanting to bring about an innate rising of confidence. And this month more than ever, I want you to treat yourself exceptionally, because this is just going to set the tone and the frequency of how other people are going to be showing up. And remember, Venus retrograde is teaching us, Aquarius, that the relationship that we have to all things external is affecting our self-esteem. Now, to what degree that is, and to the degree that you feel like you're on the roller coaster, or your energy is bound to, having to navigate and manage like multiple scenarios, multiple different experiences, and that, you find it difficult to find and maintain that sense of balance and groundedness for yourself. So it's showing you a lot, yeah? It's a profound month for self-discovery. In fact, it's astonishing, really, I think, that, as you come out of August, you might even, realise just the degree to which your self-awareness and your growth has moved you in such powerful leaps and bounds. So as these old connections, acquaintances return and help you to see how far you've come, we also need to kind of remind you that August is a time where you have to check in to see whether your survival mode has become a comfort zone, because you're also being kind of pushed over the edge a little bit. And even where you feel like, I don't have the capacity, I don't have the time, the energy, the resources, the wherewithal to make this a reality, to make this happen. You are coming up to Lionsgate portal on the 8th of the month, this beautiful, auspicious cosmic conversation, just bringing in heightened awareness around your ascension, around your growth, reconnecting you and reuniting you with your manifestations and what you desire, but wanting you to kind of go beyond that, to move beyond your limitation. As we witness Sirius, the spiritual sun rising, it's such a beautiful time to harness this golden energy. Now, I've got a really lovely soul meditation you might like to check out for your rituals on Lionsgate. Please do check that out in the comment and description box underneath. So we have Lionsgate portal. I feel around that time there is this doubling down for you. And remembering that your inner work will always manifest in the relationships that are around you. So also to be kind of accepting of the fact, remember we're 7th house energy through Leo season for you, which, is all around your partnerships, mirror season. And so as the inner work is recognized, your relationships are changing and transforming. Who you show up for, who falls away from you, who you no longer resonate with. And that might bring about some sadness. But really what we want you to do is embrace the acceptance of how you're changing, and also realize that you're creating space for new inspiration to flow through in the people that are meant to now come into your path. But the Hermit suggests to me, there might be some sense of you needing to withdraw. Now, I also have this message coming through about like there being a misunderstanding coming up in August pertaining to somebody. And certainly as I feel there's unfinished business, it might be sort of wrapped up in regards to this. It can have the potential to cause some unnecessary upset, some heartache or confusion. So the advice here again is to sort of try not to judge or piece together and, add 2 and 2 and come up with 8. It really is one of these scenarios where I think you're getting half the story. And you also have people who are being overly defensive. But, along with Venus retrograde, with Mercury going back spinning on the 23rd, we do have one of these months that it's just a little bit more challenging to articulate and to get across how we truly feel and know that the other person, the other party is actually really understanding of that. The Hermit's bringing in wise counsel and wisdom for you, but perhaps the real work this month is with you and you, and it's an opportunity to kind of, as we said, go back to those big soulful goals, and you're overlaying energy, which means that as you deal with sort of ongoing, continuing themes around your healing, journey around the sort of ending or the closure or the moving on or the wrapping up of karmic cycles, you're also having to welcome, prepare, invite, and create space for all of what wants to show up for you. And, that's no mean feat. So, we have to sort of deal with the complexity of that, which does require some rest, some reflection, profound reflection for you. And as that coalesces and we get to mid-month, there's something really interesting happening. So we've got Juno, asteroid goddess, shifting into Leo. Remember, she's supporting both professional and personal relationships. And here there's some big gestures and there's some open-hearted discussions going on. We need to have a sort of frank discussion about what's real and what's being done for show. So you might need to read between the lines and sort of wait till something pans out a little bit. But the day after, we have the new moon in Leo. So we'll now have Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Juno, and remember we still have Black Moon Lilith in Leo right through till October 3rd, who is here supporting that shadow work and making sure that you are not playing small, where you have dismissed yourself, been overlooked, suppressed or dimmed your light. She's calling you out powerfully, wanting to avenge and kind of help to celebrate and showcase your talent and your innate gifts. So that new moon in Leo is a bit of a firecracker. It feels like you're ready. And this transition between knowing better to consistently and intentionally doing better for yourself in your life really lands in a big way around that mid-month for you. And, I like the vibe of it because I think regardless of how tricky or complicated or even the degree to which you're managing some of these misunderstandings, you yourself look in a really strong position because I think you've come to the realization as, I can do this. Actually, I can do this because I do know where I need to put the work in, and I am acknowledging myself. I am treating myself exceptionally well in this moment. And you know what? There's method to your madness. So even around that time, if some of the things that you're considering feel crazy, ludicrous, way out there, bigger, bolder than you've ever dared kind of contemplate before, they're wholly necessary because it's an energy stream that's creating space for a higher degree of abundance to flow towards you. And the Nine of Pentacles is incredibly auspicious in its intentionality around that moon to kind of show you. In fact, you may even get some nice reveals around the improvements of certain situations that just give you a little bit of confidence to say, okay, I think I'm onto something here. And that's what we need to really kind of follow through with, yeah? As you want better, Aquarius, you do better, which means you're going to be attracting better, and inevitably better is going to show up for you. But the thing to keep in mind is that sometimes the better that comes is not from the area you expected. It's dressed differently. It looks different. It sounds not in the way that you would expect it to. And so what we have to be open to in that final piece of the puzzle coming together with the universal energies on your path is that the divine time for you to receive the goodness in this particular area is now, which does not mean that the thing you're focused on and that you desire is being overlooked, or like I said, is the universe saying no to you. It's just that there's a divine time for things to need to land in your world, and that's also about how your learning and growth is sort of wrapped up in that, okay? So again, around that time when things are emerging, don't be disheartened if it's not in the area that you thought. Enjoy and embrace that energy because it's going to uplift you and then support everything else coming in on that kind of a frequency for you as well. So as the sun shifts into Virgo on the 23rd, the same day as Mercury will go retrograde, we have nice balance coming through there with the Four of Wands. A peaceful resolution will be found, and I think this unfinished business, whilst it still feels like it's hanging in the air a little bit, you yourself are able to find a deeper sense of peace or acceptance in where it sits, even if it still sits in an energy of uncertainty, okay? I think it's important that you give yourself permission to continue to progress in other areas. Sometimes when we feel overwhelmed or consumed, especially with matters of the heart, you know, it can almost render us paralyzed or stuck, and it can really affect the flow of energy and abundance in other areas of our life. So it's down to you to kind of really address where some of those survival mode tendencies, or, you know, just the anxiety or the inner friction and conflict that you're feeling is kind of shutting down other areas. And you do have the strength and the power and the focus, especially in the second half of August, to be able to turn around any situation that feels like it's moving in the wrong direction because of a unresolved situation. Okay, so Mars is going to go into Libra on the 27th, and, you know, as we embody this approach of the peaceful warrior, so to speak, it also pulls you away from any drama and helps you to kind of reflect on the kind of person that you want to be. And especially in regards to any negotiations you're having, you know, if they're coming in professionally or in any area of your life where you're having to kind of put your point across, fight for something that you believe in or that you know is for you, you have this influence and this ability with that energy coming in. Even with Mercury retrograde, it's almost an opportunity to sort of pick something back up. So perhaps reminding people of a conversation that was had previously, you know, commitments or promises that were made, and not sort of, you know, forcing it upon people, but just really having a well thought out argument and position that kind of helps to direct and remind people, and that will do really well for you, so keep that in mind. We also have Uranus shifting backspin on the 28th, just ahead of that full moon in Pisces on the 30th. Now, the tendency for some unexpected scenarios to surface at the end of the month is highly likely. Might disrupt your equilibrium just a little, although you do look a little bit more balanced as we make our way through the month because of the inner reflection and work that you've been doing. That said, I think that, you know, be prepared for some situations that might feel like they crash and burn. But remember, you're then in 8th house energy with Virgo, and it's almost the directive that you're going to have some sense of rising from the ashes. So it's like the rebirth that will happen can only happen if something crumbles or falls apart or unexpectedly kind of ends up unraveling in a way that you just had not anticipated. So again, this being like divinely timed to sort of help you to address something within the self, and you will make a swift and a powerful recovery, but it could be quite an emotional experience with that full moon Pisces. And remember, anything that we've not dealt with or that we've not properly released as a sort of directive from the beginning of the month with that full moon, we get a second chance, but we also get the universe knocking loudly and going, okay, you didn't do it right first time, now we're going to go even deeper. And that Pisces moon we know is going to hit heavy on the heartstrings. But it's also going to crack open from a spiritual perspective an ability to transcend and see a very different perspective. So in all eventualities, it's quite a magical month, really supporting you, but it is going to feel at times a little bit chaotic and a bit all over the place with this void-like energy. So if you're new to the channel, Aquarius, the last 3 cards we cover in my extended reading. We talk for another 25-30 minutes or so. We also look at a personal question and a relationship card, and I will pull some clarifiers now just to see the direction we'll be taking that. So you'll find a link in the comment and description box underneath. So we've got 9 of Swords, 7 of Wands. 5 of Wands is bringing through the Chariot for us, and the Ace of Wands. Alongside the Lionsgate Portal meditation, I also have recorded a brand new full moon activation that will be supportive for working with both of these full moons this month. I've got the Queen of Wands coming up. Again, you can find all the links below, as well as all the decks that I use as well. Okay, this Hermit is bringing in the King of Wands and the Ace of Cups. There is this feeling of moving on. Chariot, Six of Swords coming through here. It's not a month that you're going to feel like there's no progress. Like, so don't get me wrong, but there is this sort of strange sensation to it where I think it's just hard to get a read on how far you've come, and really till you kind of come out the other end. And then, you know, because there's such huge internal shifts, incredible sort of self-discovery and self-awareness happening, like I said, astounding in some degree, it makes for quite an unforgettable month overall. Even where you may be looking at the external reality of things and saying, well, not much appeared like it shifted, but I sure have changed. Okay, this is the Life Soul Vision Oracle, which is my own personal deck. If you haven't yet had a chance to check this out, please do so. This sacred title, along with Moon Musings, my book, which is also on audio and Kindle, you will find links for, just to support you in your soul work. Blossoming Soul Song, beautiful. Such a creative month when we work through Leo energy, and you know, the luminary quality of that sun in Leo and these two full moons are bringing about such interesting revelations for us in all areas of our life. It's almost like, well, we won't see or perceive ourselves in the same way ever again, but also with other people. And you have that strongly with that 7th house being highlighted. Remember, any separation, any split, any ending that goes on, is it final? Well, often through retrograde it's still unfinished, so it's one thing to keep in mind. But if it's been a repeated cycle over and over again, this could also just herald the season where you just get to a point where enough is enough. Okay, and let's pull one more oracle card. I like that you have throat energy coming through here. You are going to be able to say what's on your mind, even if it isn't fully understood or absorbed by others. Like, that's okay. Like, you, for you, just need to know that you've been able to just be transparent. Clear waters, clear vision, confirmation, right timing, opportunity. Beautiful. Aquarius, thank you for joining me. If you're coming on the extended, we will continue this conversation. Have a beautiful month of August. I appreciate your investment. If it's resonated, do drop me a like and a comment, really helps. I'll see you again next time. Bye.